What's up, sports fans? Ryan Kostrowski here. This is the DFS 5-pack. This is the tip of the day, installment number 14, guys. If you haven't been watching all of them yet, to me, DFS is all about the why. Why do we do certain things? Why do we make certain decisions? And while it's great to get tips on a daily basis, I mean, half the stuff that we say in the morning is oftentimes obsolete. And one of the stuff that we like to do overall is just kind of work on the theory and the why of the process so you can be better suited to make some of your own decisions for yourself. Especially in NBA, where this stuff changes so quickly. And we're going to talk about something that happened yesterday that I think is kind of a great side note. Now, we've already been talking about it all day long, but let's kind of keep it going for those of you who want to pay extra special attention to it, I guess is the best way to look at it. If you guys are new to the station, though, you want more DFS information, hit that red button that says subscribe. The thumbs up on the video, always appreciated. And if you want the full shows that we do on a daily basis, go sign up to be a member. We'd love to have you. So today's tip, now for those of you guys watching this down the road, obviously this isn't going to be nearly as applicable. But yesterday, Enes Kanter, who is currently a New York Knick, I think most of you guys know that right now. Again, somebody might be watching this in the future, has been a DNP a lot lately. And coaches pushed him back in the rotation. They're saying that they want to develop their talent. But I mean, I think most of us know that they're kind of tanking, so they're not going to be playing their best player. They want the better draft pick. I get that. I understand the decision. They're not very good right now, and Porzingis probably won't even be back this year. So I get why they're doing it. So when Kornet got hurt, it was announced early in the day that Enes Kanter would be the starter for this game. This was an opportunity for him to go out. There were some intangible aspects working with it. There's a reason that a big portion of the industry was all over at this pick. The Rockets were terrible against big men. Kanter would have cleaned up more than likely if he had played in this game. Now, what happened late in the afternoon, the Rockets decided that they were going to rest Nene, which means they were going to move Kenneth Faried, a quasi center, into the big role position, and they were going to play small ball today. Now, instead of trying to take advantage of the advantage that they had, which was having a big man who could eat in the paint, the Rockets opted that they would also move down to small ball to try to play better defense against Houston. So they said that they were flirting with the idea of taking him out of the starting lineup, and this was about 45 minutes before their game. For me, I loved Kanter, so I was very obstinate in the fact that I still wanted to play him and still wanted to believe that they would give him some run. But like my logical half knew that there was a really good chance he was going to be a DNP. So in the last minute, I decided to go with the logical portion of my brain and take Kanter out of my main lineup, but I still ran him in my GPPs. Obviously, all of those GPPs are sitting at a big fat 0, except for the one that I played in my cash lineup, which is neither here nor there, because I knew pretty well that the Knicks are a black hole for DFS points. They mess with the rotation on a daily basis, and that is something that Matt and I both preach about on the regular, is trying to understand which coaches can you rely upon. Like, you can't predict always blowouts and like injuries and foul trouble, but you can usually at least look at most teams for a pretty constant and steady rotation of what they plan on doing. So I pulled him logically, but emotionally, I felt like I was so invested, which is another topic for another day, how to try to pull the emotion out of this game. And if you really like somebody, but in my head, I knew he wasn't going to play. And I was being obstinate and stubborn, and I should have pulled him everywhere. Fortunately, was lucky enough to get into the cash, in my cash lineup so that I could still make a small profit on the day. But I should have pulled Enes Kanter everywhere. So that goes back to the question, which I originally wanted to address, and that is, does it matter if somebody is starting? Oftentimes, no. In fact, I would say it's usually no. But where you have to make that judgment call or decide if you want to have a leap of faith or not is, do you know if the guy is going to be playing? If a coach decides to start a guy, you can feel pretty comfortable that he has reason to why that is and why he should at least get multiple runs on the day. Even if it's something as small, like you've seen Golden State do it in the past with like a JaVale McGee, where they'll give him 6 minutes in the first and give him 6 minutes in the third, and then maybe 2 and 2 in the second and the fourth. Hell, at least 16 minutes is going to be better than 0. So at least you have an opportunity to hit some version of value depending on what his price is. When he gets pulled from the starting lineup like that, and you feel like it's a matchup issue that they're trying to address, like that's a good time to pull him. Obviously, hindsight's always 20/20, but I should have done that. The flip side of that is oftentimes, if you're pretty confident the guy's going to get minutes, it can be better to be in the second unit. You're playing against weaker basketball players. You get a better matchup. You likely get increased usage. And we talk about this with guys like Will Barton from the Nuggets, for example. Like, he's a pretty good basketball player, but sometimes it's been better for him in the past to be with the second unit because he takes over like the pseudo point guard role, distributes, and does a lot. There are other times in the past, not as much this year, where Barton in the starting lineup won't always be as good because, you know, Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, Nikola Jokic, all of these guys are very capable of running the show, and sometimes his role with the team would be less. So that's where getting to know your teams and watching this can be really, really beneficial for you, which is kind of the point that we discussed yesterday with actually watching sports. So a lot of times I will tell you it doesn't matter if somebody's starting because you just want minutes. You don't care when those minutes come. You just need to know what their role is going to be. But when it's a guy who's a DNP, who's kind of out of the coach's favor, that's when it really gives me cause for pause on what they're planning on doing. All right, guys, that's what I got for today. Thank you very much. If you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to the channel. The thumbs up is appreciated, and have yourself a wonderful day.